Hey, peace. What's happening? Hola. Bienvenue. Ciao. Konnichiwa. It's the chocolate maverick. I had to come give you something about fear that came so quick and so thunderous. I can't even hesitate. It's wisdom is so slick. It's like wisdom is slicker than a can of oil for real. If you don't catch it, it'll slide right past you. And this one is about something I'm learning with fear. I think I said it before on this lineage of or avenue of video that I have an on-site beef with fear, and I'm truly legit about that. Like I literally, once I've recognized I got a fear, I the first thing I do is try to get it to myself in a certain way. I write it down, or I text myself, or I email myself. Peak game of the power of what I'm about to tell you. It's about embracing fear. It's I think it's like the easiest way to erase a fear permanently by making sure to properly embrace it. Now rock with me, roll with me, give me a second to two-step with me. This is going to be serious if you can really get the power behind writing things down. Like taking a thought and writing it down, or taking a dream and writing it down makes it a goal if you put a date on it, and the universe loves that. But outside of anything, all on that level, the fear is really an interesting thing to battle with, and something about acknowledging its presence is like one of the most important things if you're trying to extract it from your life, because like most things, until you face it, like they always say, you got to face your fears. That's a very legitimate thing, but they really don't explain how to face it. And what I'm learning is the power of acknowledgement and acceptance is a way of facing it. Like fear of doing videos is something that I had before. Once I said it to myself, I recognized it. I took some time when I had my alone time and said, "Yo, I have this issue. I don't really like doing this. I guess it's the fear of being judged. I don't know what the fear is. I written down it was a fear of being judged, and I acknowledged that I have this fear of being judged. It was something that was very real. It was my personal truth. There's nothing wrong with it. It was true. I had the fear. So I took the time to acknowledge it, accept it, recognize I don't want it. But I'm going to embrace this moment of having it and recognizing I need to take some sort of action to delete it, to erase it, to dissolve it. So I started to say, I am now dissolving the fear of judgment. I'm now dissolving the fear of judgment, and I'm now recognizing that the F in fear stands for false. Reminding yourself that the F in fear stands for false reminds you that you're not dealing with truth. If you have that fear, it's not true, it's false. And you can just keep telling yourself it's not true, it's false. It's false evidence appearing real. If anything, if you got a fear, for example, a fear of dancing, you're probably meant to be a great dancer. If you have a fear of making a lot of money, making millions of money, because how are people going to judge you? You're probably meant to be extremely wealthy and using that wealth for other people. If you have a fear of singing in front of people, you probably have an extremely angelic voice that people need to hear. It can change lives, and that's why you have that fear. Every fear tells a story. It's just whether you're willing to read it and try to figure out how it plays its role in your life. But every fear tells a story. So if you keep ignoring them, if you never address them or accept them or acknowledge them, you're missing that story. And that story may be critical to you doing something that you really want to do or really love. So the food for thought I wanted to drop here is really just embracing the fear by finding some way to acknowledge it and accept it, and making sure to acknowledge that at this moment it is your truth that you truly do have this fear. However, going forward, I am now dissolving, and then say whatever the fear is. And the legitimate reason, because we love reasoning. We need to know a reason. We want to know why. That's how we are as creatures. We just want to know why sometimes. Use the reason is simply that the F in fear stands for false. And you don't like being lied to. You don't like being dealing with falsities. You want to deal with the truth. Most of us do, at least. So reminding yourself that I'm now dissolving this fear because the F in fear stands for false. And I deal with truth. So therefore, it cannot be true that I have this fear because the F in fear stands for false. A fear is nothing but false evidence appearing real. We all want to keep it real. Keep it real with yourself and remember that the fear is something that is false. It is not true. It's not your truth. And you just sometimes got to drill that in your own head. Say it 21 days and see the magic unfold. Witness the miracle. But you got to do your best to remember that the F in fear stands for false. Take this love, take this life. Let it drip all over your mind and heart. Let it soak on in. Pass this love to change somebody else's life, please. Share it with somebody. We all got fears. It don't matter what race you are, where you're at in the world. You don't have to be my friend, but share this about fear. Let's start standing in unification with unity with fear. And I believe we can do something together, at least if we all keep sharing something that we're learning while we're fighting it. Peace and love.